Hello there, friends. It is your boy LOZA. I have some things to report. So, there's been a lot of discourse about Dark Magician and the future of the deck, and I thought this would be a great rant-style video where, hey, it's actually me. So, yeah, let me know what you think of this kind of vid as well. I don't imagine it'll do too great, but hey, there's no Dark Magician in it, so everyone's going to be a bit upset. Anyway, Dark Magician is kind of at the crossroads. We've got the new Little Yugi support in which Dark Magician is there and a new Mirror Force is there. However, it's not necessarily Dark Magician. My deck list I put out only plays Secrets of Dark Magic, Illusion of Chaos, Magician Souls, Dragoon, and the new Dark Magician, which is, of course, Dark Magician, the Ebon guy. I forget the name, but you know what I mean. There's the Golden Sarcophagus archetype, which is the Little Yugi archetype with the gadgets, Gandora, Silent Magician. That has its own Dark Magician now. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go check out the other videos, but I'm sure everyone's on the same page here. But if you're not, that's all right. There's content for you to look at. A lot of people are upset about the fact the deck is going in this direction. There's some people who are on the fence. There's fence sitters. There's people who like it. There's people who hate it. I understand all opinions because the casual in me loves it to a degree because it's like all of Yugi's cards are now like relevant. I mean, the ones he used in the final duel against Atem. So obviously all of the Golden Sarka archetype is referencing that last duel Little Yugi has with Atem before he goes to the afterlife. The duel that Yugi has to win against all the Egyptian gods. Will we see Atem get a similar thing with Dark Magician and the Egyptian gods together? I don't think so, but I've always wanted a DM Slifer Fusion. They should write that down. Konami, if you're listening, write that down. But anyway, that duel in itself is an awesome duel against two players who use Dark Magician. So one thing for future I think you need to understand is there's got to be a Dark Magician girl to go on the Golden Sarcophagus archetype. Some people mention there probably won't be, but Little Yugi uses DMG, I would say, more than Big Yugi, or at least Little Yugi's obsessed with her and continues to use her and the Magician Girls in the DDoS movie, but I don't think that movie's where this archetype comes from. This archetype, it seems strictly to be from that duel of Yugi versus Little Yugi, or Yami Yugi versus Yugimoto at the end of the Season 5 Yu-Gi-Oh! To send the Pharaoh on his way. I think that's been touched on a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But anyway, what's cool is this is a modern take on Dark Magician. We'll look at the pros first, and then we'll look at the cons, because I'm a pretty negative person, so let's look at the positives first. The pros. The archetype breathes fresh air into Dark Magician. It's really relieving to have Dark Magician have an effect, for one, have a card that searches it that also will summon it. So if you open Gold Sark, you can play Gold Sark and it will search and summon DM. Dark Magician will summon itself because Gold Sark's on the field. And people have mentioned, well, this archetype loses to MST. I don't want to play an archetype that loses to MST. My brother, have you been playing DM for the past 10 or 20 years? So, I don't know. Those people must have forgot that Eternal Soul wipes our field and that we've been losing to MST for as long as I can think of. So, not really a good criticism there. Yes, does Gold Sark lose to MST? Yeah, it does. You can't summon any of your big monsters if Gold Sark's not on the field. The Gandora and the Dark Magician will not special themselves for free if Gold Sark is not on either field, by the way. So in the mirror match, if the opponent has it, you can special them. It's really funny. But yes, it does need to be on the field. However, when Gold Sark leaves the field, guess what? It doesn't wipe your field. Crazy take. But not wiping your field is kind of good. So I understand those people who are nervous to play another DM archetype that loses to MST, but let me try to tell you more of the pros here and maybe I can convince you. So another pro is we get to play Dragoon still, which is massive. Not really the biggest pro, but it's good. It's a no-pop Dragoon, but it's still a Dragoon and an Omni-Negate, and it's an insanely powerful Towers monster, right? So, you know, Dragoon's always good. Another pro of the deck is there are multiple lines of play. So Gadget is your normal summon, and that can get you Gold Sark, and that opens up the deck to pretty much anything. But also Gold Sock can get you Gadget, and Gadget can get you the Silence Quick Play spell, which I've forgotten the name of. And it is pretty good because it says search a monster. Just search a Gold Sock monster. It's that generic. It's Rhoda. It's Illusion of Chaos. It's that good. But unfortunately, in the battle phase, it draws 6. Searches and then draw up to 6. So, like, if you have no cards in hand, you'll only draw 5 because you search first. The interesting thing is it's battle phase only, which is, like, weird. So a lot of people critiqued my hand trap build, and I'm like, guys, we can draw up to 6 in the opponent's battle phase, or our battle phase. Like, I don't know, to me, like, try to draw into the hand traps, obviously it's already a battle phase by then, but you get what I mean, right? Like, being able to draw 6 in certain scenarios is kind of crazy. Another pro about the deck, it is fun to play. It still has 1 card to 2 card combos, similar to that of DM, but I feel like they achieve more. Your standard combo with Gadget can get you to Silent Magician or Spell Negate, as well as, with 1 extra card being DM or Gandora, can get you to Dragoon, plus the Silent Magician. And don't forget the Gold Sock has an effect too, where if your opponent specials a monster, I believe it is, you can discard a card and destroy those special summon monsters. So it's kind of good. It can be kind of good, or maybe it makes you pick 1. I forget the exact text, but it's a random effect that probably won't come up much, but it's nice to have on there, you know, and it's a reference to that duel, of course, which is cool. Let's talk about the cons, because this is the part people like to focus on. And I, for once, am not focused on the cons so much. Now, the deck only plays 1 to 2 of the new Dark Magician, I would say. We might max on it, but for now it seems to be a 1 to 2. And Illusion of Chaos can obviously search it. A lot of people are saying there's only like 5 to 6 Dark Magician cards in this deck. We've referenced this before. We've put Dark Magician in other archetypes before, and the more you cut the Dark Magician cards, the better the deck gets. It's just the sad truth of the deck. Matchy spoke about it in his branded, or runic branded Dark Magician deck. I've spoken about it. I don't know if anyone else has, but I'm sure they have. Whenever you mix DM with an archetype, yeah, you slowly just start cutting the DM cards back and going, oh yeah, this is a lot better without them. Or at least with the minimum available to summon Dragoon, and then the rest of the deck can do its thing, right? So in this case, I only chose to play the cards that get me to Dragoon, or are just good cards. So Magician Souls and Illusion of Chaos, we've already spoken about. They're in other decks. If a card is played in a deck other than its own, it must be pretty good. And that's exactly what happens. So Illusion of Chaos and Magician Souls are a great engine for summoning, so extending, and a great engine for drawing cards. If you draw multiple Gold Socks, they do nothing. If you draw multiple Silence towards the future, they do nothing. So here's a great way to just be like, I've already searched or used Gold Sock, let's just get rid of the other ones, right? I find that niche, but nice. Nice to have an extender sometimes. Link Karibo in the extra deck too, just to make that Souls become a Link Karibo. It's kind of nice. You could do Anima as well. But once again, I think I played 1-on-1, so you probably wouldn't play 2 Links unless you had more Magician Souls. But anyway, the point still stands that minimizing the DM cards makes it feel not like a DM deck. And I understand that's frustrating. It's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for you. All of us want to play pure. I can't exaggerate that enough. We all want to play pure Dark Magician. However, we all know it doesn't do anything. Circle Eternal Soul and a Dark Magician, 3 cards, achieve 1 banish on the opponent's turn. And yes, we do get that banish again on our turn, and in theory every turn. But games tend to be over by the time we can get some sort of infinite value like Eternal Soul, Circle, Dark Magician. The DM Triangle can only do 1 banish on your opponent's turn. And the most important turn is that first opponent's turn. If on the first opponent's turn, the only thing you have is 1 banish, you're probably losing that game unless they bricked. Now, I will say this. Ice Dragon's Prison is a trap that came out probably 4 to 5 years ago now. If you play that, instead of the Dark Magician Triangle, you not only get 1 banish of your opponent's card, you get 2 banish of the opponent's card. As long as the names line up, of course, and you're like versing a dragon deck, you take a dragon out of the grave, summon it to your field, you banish it, and you banish one of their dragons. So Trap Trick at 3, with Ice Dragon's Prison at 3, could easily facilitate the Circle Eternal Soul lock. in one card. 2 banishes in one card. The big dilemma being there's no Dark Magician continuously flopping out on the field, which is the appeal, right? The appeal isn't banishing one card, the appeal is beating your opponent with a vanilla that is the main character's ace monster, and we all love that. We love that, we love Dark Magician, we love the aesthetic, or we wouldn't play it. We clearly love the playstyle to some degree, but the playstyle is very dated. And the playstyle seems to want to play control, yet a lot of our cards are actually geared towards OTK. When you read Secrets and you read Dragoon and a lot of our other stuff like Master of Chaos, these cards want us to go second in OTK. But then you read the rest of the deck and it's like traps, and you're like, well, the traps want to go first, and Circle wants you to set it up, and Eternal Soul wants to be set up, Navigation wants to be set up, so we go first. And then the fusion cards are like, hey, we pop 2 and then we can swing and we're in a gate. And Master of Chaos is like, I can banish the field, or I can just come out after you've swung in battle phase from Secrets and summon back another body and we can hit for like 10k damage. It almost seems like we're better at going second. So it might be a play going forward in Pure to just play like Lightning Storm, Duster, Regeki, and go second. Or I'd like to play evenly, but then you miss the whole battle phase shenanigans. Like, the deck actually has a lot of good aggression in the battle step, I feel. Especially if it's turn 4 or 3 and you've established Circle Eternal Soul. You know, you can at the start of your turn link away the DM you have, Eternal Soul it out, in the battle phase, start swinging, Secrets in the battle phase. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of ways you can bait that you don't have lethal by going to the battle phase early. If you go to the battle phase with just Rod, hit your opponent and go Eternal Soul then, summon DM, hit them with DM, Secrets, like, just there alone is like 6 to 8k damage, roughly, depending on whether you have Illusion of Chaos in hand to fuse into for Master of Chaos. But the point remains that, like, there's a lot of deceiving Magician's tricks within the deck, even going second, which normally the deck absolutely struggles with. I'm not denying that it does. But it's interesting how, as a deck, we're kind of the jack of all trades. They've given us a little bit of ritual, a little bit of, a lot of fusion, let's be real. A little bit of XYZ. No synchro, but, you know, we can make Chaos Angel, which is cool. And no links thus far. I do think we should get a link. I don't think it's going to happen, but an Anaconda Link 2 style thing that's only for DM stuff, amazing. Or a Link 1 that lets you use either Rod and lets you search anything like Rod, or a Link 1 that can be used off DM, Mahad, DMG, and Mana in the hand could work really well. You'll notice I talk a lot with my hands because I'm half Italian, so I half talk with hands and the rest is with my... Anyway, so I think moving forward, we have to be open to the fact that DM could branch into even more paths. I was already worried that the Illusion archetype would kind of steal DM, like Nightmare Magician, and them getting that new Apprentice Illusion chick that's basically our Apprentice, but better. I was like, well, they're stealing our stuff. And now the Gold Sark stuff's like, we're stealing DM. And his DM Mirror Force as well, which is surprisingly not bad. If it was an effect negate, we would play that stuff. But it's only an effect negate if your opponent's trying to pop your Gold Sark or Gold Sark monster. So it's a bit weird, but people will. People will try to pop it, so... I don't know, the Mirror Force is a bit of a myth. I would have loved that card in Pure DM. Pure DM probably... Because people are always trying to pop your Eternal Soul, right? It would have been kind of good. Anyway, getting a bit off topic there, but I think going forward, there is the chance that DM just branches and branches and branches. We've already kind of got 2. We've got Pure DM, we've got Gold Sark DM, pardon me, and we've got this Nightmare kind of stuff. To be honest, we just want to summon our big fusions. I think DMs wanted to do that for a long time. If we could just summon our big fusion-y boys, all would be well. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it 10 million times. We need that fusion spell. We need that fusion spell. Now, I don't care what kind of Dark Magician you play, whether it's pure, mixed, ritual, fusion, synchro, exe, I don't give a shit. Whatever DM build you play, great. Fantastic. But there's a couple of things we need. Regardless of the build you play, we need some sort of link to facilitate the plays that Anaconda gave us, because the deck was peak then. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about anyone saying Anaconda was better in other decks and blah, 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 blah. No one cares. In Dark Magician, you could go Rod and Souls out of your 5-card hand, right? 2 cards. 5-card hand, 2 cards, make Anaconda, so 2 cards are gone, we only have 3. Well, you'd search Soul Servant off your rod, and your Magician Souls would send the Soul Servant for a draw, so actually go back up to 4, right? Fantastic. Or you could search Salvation and send it as well, also a good play. Actually, no, the Soul Servant's more draws, so you're getting more chance for hand trap. So yeah, we'll stay at 4 cards. So anyway, Rod and Souls and 3 blank cards. Rod searches Soul Servant, so it goes to the field, but then you have it in hand, so you've still got 5 in hand. You summon Magician Souls. Magician Soul sends that Soul Servant for 1 draw, so you've gone even. You still have 4 cards in hand. You now link into Anaconda, you summon Dragoon. Oh, Magician Soul sent mana, by the way, or DMG, doesn't matter. You've now activated Anaconda, sending Ref. You have Dragoon. You have 4 cards in hand, you have Dragoon. You now banish Soul Servant. You have DM in grave and Red Eyes and probably like Mana or Mahad or DMG, one of those 2. So you've got 2 bricks in the grave. You're now going to draw 2 off Soul Servant. 6 cards. You have Dragoon and 6 cards in your hand. What more could you want? It's that good. That was peak DM. I don't care what anyone says. And some people will say, well, you should have Soul Servant and grabbed Eternal Soul to confirm DM coming back, and like maybe you should have got Circle and hope that it hit. No, who cares? Who cares about that shit? Let's just draw in a hand traps with Dragoon, right? 6 cards in hand, make them all hand traps, and you're winning that game, right? Not even half of them could be hand traps. 3 hand traps on a Dragoon, like, tell me how you're losing that game. So anyway, Anaconda was peak Dragoon, peak DM, peak Dragoon, well, same shit really. We need that again. So we need a link that facilitates that. It can be a little more restrictive, I don't care, but it needs to give us that access. Even if it's not to Dragoon and it's to the other fusions, great, make it happen. Make it happen. Dark Magicians could be viable if it was a 1-card fusion. Dragon Knight's viable if it's a 1-card fusion, right? Because then you can focus on searching the Circle and Eternal Soul after that or before that, right? I don't know. We need more. Ironically, we have a lot of searching, but we need more. It's kind of crazy. We need more, and we need it soon. So, anyway, that was a good Dark Magician rant. I think going forward, we just need to be open. Open to multiple builds, open to branching pathways. Take a look at Matchy. He plays a lot of branded DM, now Runic branded DM as well. Take a look at, what's his name? Dodo. Dodo plays a lot of Ritual DM. Go and check him out. There's a lot of DM YouTubers as well. I could sit here and name them all day. Godsmith of Chaos. He's played Cash Tier DM in the past, and now he plays Illusion DM. Not necessarily too much synergies there, other than those decks kind of carrying DM. But they're still builds. Like, we're still going to say, well, it's still a DM build, at the end of the day. This will happen. I know some people only like pure, but mixes are going to happen until the deck is good enough to be played pure. So, I think just experiment. Have some fun. Play DM with some wacky stuff. True Draco Dark Magician is something I've played. Orcus Dark Magician. I have it coming out on the channel soon. There's just so many wild builds you can make. And to be honest, there's no correct build. I give you the builds that I like the most, that I think are the most competitive. If you want to win at locals, yeah. But at the end of the day, we're playing DM. We're probably not going to win too many games. If we do win, we want it to be cool and anime. So you may as well play a build that you like at the end of the day, right? Obviously, try the builds of the people you watch. If you watch YouTubers and you go, wow, I like that build, I want to try it, I want to try win with it, obviously, go and do it. But you've got to have some fun sometime as well and just play a bad build or play a build mixed with something else. Test something online that's obnoxious, right? Dark Magician mixed with some ridiculous archetype. Tier Dark Magician we've done on the channel as well. Like, who cares if you have to mix with the best deck in the format? Sometimes it's funny, and you might actually enjoy playing that deck. And you might even make people mad, and that's the best thing you can do in a card game. Anyway, I've been LOZA. I'm on holiday right now, but I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.